and welcome. My name's Jade and today I'm going to be going over my June TBR. I cannot believe we have finally reached June. It feels like I've been in May for months, so I'm like honestly surprised that I'm going to be doing this, especially since it's still May. I am talking about June as if it's going to happen. We will honestly see. If this is your first time on my channel, just so you know, I do book content, writing content, and talk about my life in Japan. This is my debut novel, The Solstice Court, and I'm currently working on book 2, so if you're interested in that, I also have writing content listed down below, but today is all about books that are not mine, and I'm very excited for them. The first book I'm going to get into is one I feel like people might be excited for because I know how excited I am for it, and I've been talking about this book since I borrowed it from a friend 3 years ago and ended up with my own copy. The first book I plan to read in June is The Cemetery Boys by Aiden Thomas. This follows our main character, Yadriel, alongside his Latinx family as they practice witchcraft, specifically around the dead. Yadriel, however, is having conflicts with his family because he is transgender and his family is very much in the binary of having brujos and brujas and will not let him perform the rite to allow him to become a brujo. So after the death of someone in his family, he goes to try and find their spirit in order to connect with it and prove himself capable of being one of the boys. This is a highly praised book and I read the first chapter a while ago, definitely knew I was going to continue, and the time has finally come. It's here, or it will be here by the time we actually reach June. This is the first book I plan to pick up. I am very excited. I would be remiss if I didn't admit that I'm continuing A Language of Dragons by S.F. Williamson. This is the UK edition. It's absolutely gorgeous, stunning, has end papers, a foiled hardcover, a really good and compelling story about a draconic linguist who gets pulled into a war and she is actually interpreting for the dictatorship part of this war. I find this main character to be incredibly frustrating but not uncompelling, at least as of right now, and I'm 40% of the way through the book. I don't think it's being done unintentionally. I think that this character is meant to irk you and make you question why she's irking you. Her ignorance knows no bounds, and it's really interesting to watch all of the other characters around her react to her reactions. It's very dragon heavy. I started it for Draconathon. It was the book for our book club, Dragons in Draconathon, which I will have all of the Fable information linked down below, and I'm still reading it because I'm very slow. But luckily, while we have started the next book in the book club, we give 2 months to read each book, so I am not as far behind in the schedule of things. As long as I finish this book this month, I can pick up our next book the next month. But this is June's TBR. Who even knows if July is gonna happen? I am being told by reliable sources that the 4th book in the Nevermore series, following Morrigan Crow by Jessica Townsend, is actually in the hands of readers. People are reading this book, Silverborn, because it came out. I admit, up until I saw people physically holding it in their hands, I was too afraid to actually hope, and I have lagged on rereading the series because I just didn't want to get my hopes so high and have them crushed again. It's actually happened. Silverborn is out, and I, as a fan, am officially behind, which is such a nice place to be in, actually. I'm really happy about it. I recently reread Nevermore, The Trials of Morrigan Crow, and this month I will continue on my rereading journey and plan on reading Wondersmith, The Calling of Morrigan Crow, and Hollowpox, The Hunt for Morrigan Crow. This series is one of my beloved, like, first book to books that I really got passionate about, and I still feel passionate about it. We just haven't gotten one in a really long time. We've been hornswoggled before. We've been tricked. This is no shade to Jessica Townsend, and I'm really happy that this book is finally out. I need to catch up now. But just to talk about the first in the series, Nevermore, The Trials of Morrigan Crow follows Morrigan. She is growing up in a very dreary town where she's considered to be a cursed child because of the date of her birth. However, Jupiter North swoops in and brings her to the world of Nevermore, offers to be her ward and patron for her to join this prestigious academy called the Wondrous Society. Everyone in the world of Nevermore has knacks or like little tricks or magics that make them special, and Morrigan is unsure about hers. However, as the story progresses, you find out how important Morrigan is. I just really love all of the found family moments in this series, as well as just Morrigan herself. She's very flawed and complex, as well as just being sweet. You know that she means well and that she's a young child trying to find her way after a life of neglect. I really feel for this series and I cannot wait to reread it. It really took a turn in the 3rd book. I thought I was not going to survive the wait, but here we are on the other end of it. Can't wait to pick that one up. Then I have the advanced reader copy of The Ghostwriters Club by Cody Wayne Morris. This was an arc that I signed up for, I really wanted to read, and I didn't have the chance to get get to it before its release, so it is already out in the world and you can go ahead and pick it up. This is Cody's debut novel. I'm very excited to see what he puts out and what he puts out in the future, because if you don't know, Cody is also an author tuber. I'll have him linked down below. Just a really sweet, genuine, and wholesome person to watch, and his vlogs are always really uplifting and put me in a really positive mood when I'm in my writing space. And this follows a boy named Logan who joins a prestigious academy in order to get away from his controlling mother, ends up being part of the Ghostwriters Club, which is an elite or mysterious club that was disbanded but seems to be having an uprising, and he goes ahead and joins to solve a mystery or cold case that happened on the academy grounds. I have the e-arc, so I'll be reading it between my phone and computer because I don't have an e-reader device, but I'm really looking forward to it. And again, all of the links to Cody's information will be linked down below. Then on to my Libby gifts, the gifts from the library that I didn't have to pay for. I have 1 week until this book is ready for me, and it says that there's only one person in line, so I'm feeling very hopeful that I'm going to be able to pick up Freshwater by Akwaeke Emezi. I chose this as an audiobook because it's narrated by the author, and I've heard really amazing things about this story, but I also haven't really gotten an understanding of what the entirety of the story is, except for that it's the experience of a fractured self or someone with multiple identities in them and a discovery of those identities. I also know that it's somewhat autobiographical as well as having Nigerian folklore, so I'm just really interested to see what this story is, and I've heard really good things about it, especially around gender and really pushing against Western stereotypes and ideals about what gender should be. I will be a little cautious though, however, because I have been told it has one of my trigger warnings having to do with suicidal ideation and possible attempt. I'll be treading carefully around that section, but otherwise I feel like this book could very much be for me, considering how speculative it is. A book I know is for me, it feels handcrafted for me, and a very large majority of the world. I am continuing on with the Woven Kingdom series, All the Twisted Glory. I should know. All This Twisted Glory by Tahara Mafi. I inhaled the first 2 books so I could continue the other books that I was supposed to read. I had to put this book on pause because I started it immediately after the second one. I knew that I was not going to be able to stop, so I force quit. This was a hard DNF in the month of April because I wanted to read it so badly that it became dangerous and hazardous not only to my TBR but my entire readathon that I was hosting. I will be reading the 3rd book in this Woven Kingdom series. I feel like it's going to really upset me that the 4th book is not out yet. I will somewhat regret not spreading these out a little bit longer. I can't help that. That is future Jade's problem, and again, I'm not believing that May will ever end. We'll see. Because I can't talk about the 3rd book in a really intoxicating series, I'll go ahead and talk about the 1st, which is this Woven Kingdom, which I do have the Illumicrate copy of. It's gorgeous. It's phenomenal. These are fireflies, not bees. Didn't know that until I started reading the book. But this follows a girl named Eliza, who is not only a servant or Snoda, but also a hidden princess and heir to a kingdom that has been colonized. Eliza is working in the servants' quarters, and after the prince of the kingdom sees her, he thinks that she's a spy and starts to do some digging. Their paths further intertwine after they have a romantic connection, and it really just takes off from there in some very unexpected ways. This book is beautifully written. I haven't been able to shut up about it since I read it, and I don't think I will because I really just am enjoying it so much that I can't help but talk about it. This is why I have a channel. I could just bother my friends about this, but I started a YouTube channel in order to scream about books on the internet, and this one is scream-worthy. So I'm very excited to pick up the next book and continue the series and then suffer for however long it takes for the 4th book to come out. Feel free to join me on that. Let me know if you've been reading this series, have already caught up, if you savored it, or if you devoured it. It's tantalizing. I don't know. I can't get over it. Anyways, I'm gonna try though. I'm gonna try so we can talk about the last book on my list, which is also a Libby book, Graveyard Shift by M.L. Rio. This is a novella, and while I'm reading it as an ebook through Libby, I saw that it's only 3 hours as an audiobook, so I feel like I'm really gonna fly through this. And I'm second in line, so I know that I'll get it in June, but I am going in with tamped down expectations because most of what I've heard about this book is that it's good, but that it feels like an excerpt. That people were really annoyed with how high the price was and how short the book is. Because I'm getting this on Libby, and because I've never read from this author before, I feel like I am a prime candidate to give this a higher rating, possibly because of my expectations. So wish me luck on that, but that's also the rest of my reading month so far. I feel like that's a fairly nice set of books. I might pick some up as a mood read, or Libby might surprised me with throwing me a book that I had not planned on reading. I do want to do some vlogs in the month of June. I think it might be a little bit more geared towards writing content, but I also want to do some reading vlogs and so forth. I don't know what June will bring, but if it happens, I'm really excited for it, and I hope you are too. Let me know which books you are planning to read this month, or if you have any opinions on the books I'm about to pick up. But if you can't be bothered, no problem. Go ahead and leave a gravestone for the cemetery boys. Oh my gosh, and the graveyard shift. Yeah, definitely leave a gravestone down below. Really concern the people who are just dropping into the comment section. But whether you do or not, I hope you're enjoying the sun or more stars wherever you are, and until next time, bye!